we're going to dig into the NFL, and we're going to pick our winners for all of the games this upcoming week, including the Thursday game, Monday night game, and all of our Sunday games. So we got to kick it off with the Thursday night game, which is tonight. We got the Steelers versus the Vikings. This is a good matchup. But here's the thing. I'm going to roll with the Vikings only because, they can score some points. The Vikings defense is not that great. They don't have a great defense. They've been very inconsistent all year. But Pittsburgh is not a high-power offense. And the Vikings are playing at home. They just lost to the Detroit Lions. I don't think they're going to come out and lose 2 games straight. Plus, they're in that playoff hunt. So are the Steelers. But I'm going to pick the Vikings only because of the offense. They can actually put up some points. And I don't think Pittsburgh will be able to keep up. So let's roll with the Vikings for that one. The next game we have the Browns versus the Ravens. The Browns came off a bye week. The Ravens came off a bad loss against the Steelers. All right. The last time the Browns played was against the Ravens, and they got 4 interceptions and still didn't win in Baltimore. So guess what? The Browns are sitting right outside of a playoff contention with the Steelers losing, and I think the Browns will beat the Ravens. They will be right back in the playoff picture. So I'm picking the Browns to get their revenge against the Ravens and split with the Ravens. So the Browns winning that. All right. So then we have the Jaguars versus the Titans. Now, Tannehill doesn't have his weapons, obviously, right? He don't have his weapons. He's going to Jacksonville. Jacksonville coming to Tennessee. The thing is, Jacksonville played team late in recent games. Besides last week, Jacksonville has been playing teams hard. And Titans still have their defense. So their defense still can make some noise. It's just offensively, they're not going to be able to do a whole lot. So I'm going to go with the Titans, man. I'm going to go with the Titans to bounce back and get a win. All right, get a win against the Jaguars. And, they'll be 9-4. But after that, the Titans might fall. All right, but we're going to pick the Titans for this one. Raiders versus the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs on the road. Chiefs might not lose another game for the rest of the season. So I'm picking the Chiefs to win that game. I predicted in the beginning of the season the Chiefs will have the number 1 seed and the Raiders won't make the playoffs. When they were 3-0, they start off hot. Everybody was like, "Oh, listen, I like Derek Carr, but they don't have a great team, guys. I'm sorry, they team collectively is not good, and then they got a lot of drama going on in their organization. So I'm not picking the Raiders to beat the Chiefs, and the Raiders are not making the playoffs, y'all. So this is keep that going. All right, so the next game we have the Saints versus the Jets. This is probably one game that I know I'm not going to watch, right? Because there's no firepower there. The Jets do show signs here and there, but then they stall out. Like against Philly last week, they had a great start and then stalled out versus the game. So Saints versus the Jets. This is a tough one, y'all. This is a tough one. Saints 5-7, still in the playoff hunt. Jets 3-9. They're not making the playoffs. Sean Payton's on one end. He's a better coach than the Jets coach. A first-year head coach or second-year head coach. All right. So let's go with the Saints. Let's go with the Saints to get their first win since Winston went down. All right. I think they're 0-5 since Winston went down, which is ridiculous. So they were 5-2, now they're 5-7. So they need a win bad. So I'm going to roll with the Saints. Well, you know what? I'm rolling with the Jets, man. No, I think Kamara is playing. So let's go with the Saints. Kamara is playing, so we're going with the Saints, all right? Cowboys versus the Washington football team. This is the game right here. This is the game. This should be the game of the week. They should have changed this to Sunday night. So, Washington football team versus the Cowboys. This is a crucial. Out of all the games we are watching this week, you do have the Raiders and the Chiefs, but a lot of people don't believe in the Raiders. They don't think the Raiders are going to kick in. So the Raiders and the Chiefs are in the similar. Well, they're not in the same situation because the Chargers are in between that. So that's not as important as this one. The Cowboys and Washington football team, very important game, guys. Dallas Cowboys started off 6-1. Since then, they've been 2-3. Washington football team started off 2-6. Since then, 4-0. All right. So they won 4 games in a row. They have an opportunity to beat the Cowboys this Sunday and be only 1 game behind the Cowboys in the division, and giving the Cowboys their first division L, which would be very key. They'll put the Cowboys at 2-1 division, Washington football team 2-0. If the Cowboys win this game, they become 9-4. Washington football team becomes 6-7, and basically the East is over. Washington football team has to fight for just a playoff spot, and the Cowboys will secure their playoff spot in the division. All right, by being 3-0, and that'll be good because the Eagles, who are also in contention, they're 0-2 in the division. Right? You look at the Washington football team, who's in contention, they'll be 1-1 division. So this is the match the Cowboys. There'll be not only 3 games, there'll be 3 games behind them in actual games, and they will be basically 2.5 games behind them in the division because they lost to the Cowboys. So this is what's gonna happen, guys. I'm rolling with my squad. WFT, Washington football team, and then this is what I think is gonna happen. I believe that. So 2 things gonna happen. If the Washington football team has to get an early lead. This is the formula of beating the Cowboys. You have to get an early lead. All right? You have to get an early lead. And once you get an early lead, run the football. Run the football. All right? Run the football. And that's what we would do. And the Cowboys defense, they are very good on third down on defense. Our offense, we've been very good on third down these last few on this winning streak. We're almost about 50% on third downs in this winning streak. And we cannot afford to turn the ball over. So Taylor Heinicke, you have to be more accurate this game. A lot of times you throw the ball, sometimes, it's not in the pocket. It's not right there when the receiver, only the receiver can get it sometimes, right? So Heinicke has to be more accurate this game. And the Washington football team, they have to get the Cowboys off of the field on third down. Do not get them any confidence. All right? So I'm going to roll with the Washington football team. I got us winning this game. When we win this game, we will be only 1 game behind the Cowboys, which is so crucial for the division, y'all. And I've been preaching ever since the Cowboys lost to the Chiefs. I saw something. I was like, you know what? They looking like a old Cowboys team I know. Every year they look all right, and then out of nowhere they fall. I'm like, watch. On the other hand, we getting hot. And this reminds me of the RG3 year when we were 3-6. Right? And we won 7 games in a row. It reminds me of the same thing with the Cowboys, too. Cowboys was leading that division. They had Tony Romo and guys, and they came out to the last game of the season, and Washington football team, at the time, Redskins, they beat them. So this reminds me of that same year. I'm having that same feeling of that year. And instead of RG3, it's Taylor Heinicke, right? And Heinicke, I trust, all right? So Heinicke is going to grow on you guys as the season go on. And he will take over the starting spot. He'll go into the season and the full training camp as a starter, and that's going to make a huge difference in his play next year. So I'm gonna roll with Taylor Heinicke and crew. Gibson gonna have a good game. I think Taylor Heinicke will outplay Dak Prescott on Sunday. All right, I believe he will outplay Dak Prescott and take this game. So let's go watch the football team. All right, so then we got the Falcons versus the Panthers. This is gonna be. Man, you know what? I'm gonna roll with the Falcons, man. I'm picking the Falcons to beat them, and it's funny because the Falcons can still make the playoffs. Both of them are 5-7. All right, so I'm gonna roll with the Falcons to beat the Panthers and give Cam and crew a 3-game losing streak. So then we have the Seahawks versus the Texans. I'm gonna roll with the Seahawks. The Seahawks are better than what their record shows us. They had a good win against the 49ers last week, even though the 49ers didn't have their best player, Deebo Samuels. But they did have it was a good win. It was a good all-around win. Special teams did their thing. They had a fake punt run. They ran it and scored. They also forced a fumble and a kickoff return. Special teams did their job. Defense forced some turnovers against some key stops. And then the offense was capitalizing off of the turnovers. They were scoring when they turned the ball over. So they had a complete win all around against the 49ers. So I'm going to expect them to do this, beat the Texans. All right. The Lions versus the Broncos. The Broncos secondary is nothing to play with, and the Broncos, man, they just a quarterback away. They're a quarterback away. Teddy Bridgewater is a backup quarterback, y'all. Sorry. I mean, he's a backup quarterback, so they're a quarterback away. So I'm going to pick the Broncos to beat the Lions, though. I got the Broncos. And then we have the Giants versus the Chargers. See, if Daniel Jones was playing, I would get the Giants a shot. But he's not playing once again, so I'm rolling with the Chargers. 49ers versus the Bengals. This would be a good game. Normally, the Bengals, whenever they have a good game, they drop an egg. And that's exactly what happened last week. And they bounce back. But this is a tough game. Both of these teams are in playoff contention. If the Bengals win and the Ravens lose, they will be number one in the division. But the 49ers win, they'll keep their spot in that playoff picture. So, we're going to roll with the 49ers. We're going to roll with the 49ers only because we picked the 49ers to make the playoffs before the season started. And I did not pick the Bengals to make the playoffs before the season started. So we're going to roll with the 49ers and stick with our pick. All right. Next game, Bills versus Buccaneers. Hey, y'all. I'm getting a gut feeling about this game. I think the Bills going to roll up in Tampa and win, y'all. I think they are. I think they're going to roll up in Tampa and beat Tampa. And then everybody keep on going on Josh Allen, all that stuff. Y'all understand the weather it was against New England? The winds was going 50, 55 miles per hour. It's hard to throw the ball in that. Sorry. And I knew the Bills were going to lose that game because with the weather being like that, the Bills don't have a good running attack. And when you went playing in weather like that, you need to have a good rushing attack, and that they don't have. And the Patriots did. So I knew the Patriots were going to win that game. But when it comes to the Buccaneers going to Tampa with good weather, the Bills might pull this one off, y'all. Because the Buccaneers secondary is not that good. And the Bills rushing attack is not good. That's the Buccaneers' strength. But the Bills ain't running the ball. They're going to throw it. Which will come into their advantage when it comes to the Buccaneers. So I'm going to pick the Bills, y'all, to win this game. I'm going to pick the Bills. And I think Tom Brady going to have a couple of the turnovers. Because that defense are playmakers. So I'm picking the Bills. Bears versus the Packers. Picking the Packers. I'm picking the Packers. Packers. Aaron Rodgers doing this thing, and that defense is playing good. That defense could force the defense to get home in the backfield with the quarterback. They can get a few sacks this game. I can see them getting about 3 to 4 sacks and forcing a couple of maybe 3 turnovers. So like fantasy users should pick the Packers defense against this team. All right. Then we have the Rams versus the Cardinals. Another primetime game for Matthew Stafford. This is what I'm predicting, y'all. Before the season started, I said the Rams will make it to the Super Bowl as a 6th seed, meaning they're going to have a bumpy regular season, and then they're going to catch fire at some point and then have a run in the playoffs. But this is not the point because the Cardinals are the best team in the NFL. So the Cardinals will beat them again. They will beat them again and probably in the same fashion, So because it's a mismatch. I mean, the Cardinals is the better team all around, and the Rams, they just not ready yet, So I would say about week 16, week 17, the Rams would catch their mojo and go into the playoffs for a hot streak. So, but the Cardinals, they're going to win that game. And yeah, I think it's going to be in the same fashion they did the first time they played. All right. So that's what I have for y'all today. Those are my picks. And I'll see you guys next episode. All right. Thank you guys for staying to the end of the video. Now, before you leave, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to like this video if you haven't done it yet. I want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done it yet. Share this video with someone that will be interested in listening to what we talked about today. And last but not least, hit the notification bell so you can make sure every time we upload a video, you'll be notified on YouTube. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next episode.